Hey everyone, so we're going to continue on as part of the rewiring. We have to redo the instrument cluster. So all of the original wiring harness back here, or at least most of it, is going to be replaced. You can see these wires are kind of brittle and whatnot, but I figure not only am I going to rewire this, there's a couple other things that I want to do with it. First off is this isn't an original piece. The facing of the cluster is not original. It is a replacement from 1988-ish that I got from a place called Mustangs Atlanta, which I don't even think exists anymore. But a lot of the chrome finish around the bezels here on these plates there is off around the edges. So I figure I'm going to try to give this a facelift as well while I have it off. Plus, I'm going to want to be replacing the ammeter gauge that's in here with a voltmeter that I've got that I think I've mentioned before. So that will work with the new wire harness and the new alternator, so I can get an idea of that. So really need to take the whole thing apart. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now to help refinish the chrome pieces, I've got a couple of paints to try. I don't know which one's going to work. I've got a brush-on metallic chrome finish. I got these from Ace Hardware there, and then I've got the metallic spray paint as well. And so hopefully that'll match this up, brighten it up, and look good. And if it works on here, then I will transfer it to the other pieces. And yes, I'll do a test spray in some location that's not really visible to make sure it's going to work. But the first step is to get this whole thing apart. So I'll put the paints down here, get them out of the way, take a wonderful drink of Atlanta's favorite beverage. I know they're not a sponsor, but they ought to be. I don't have any sponsors. It'd be a lot easier if I did. I could get a lot more done because I'd have more money. So anyway, we're going to get taking this apart. Really the initial step is to separate the cluster here from the bezel. At least I think that's going to be my first step. There's probably instructions in the shop manual, but again, why would I want to do that when I can do that? So it's really just held on by a series of Phillips head screws located around the bezel. So I'm going to be able to get those out. I've got my Phillips head screwdriver, so I'm going to start taking these out. Now, something I haven't been mentioning, what I have been trying, not always successfully, but as I'm pulling pieces apart or components out, all the screws, clips, and stuff that go with them, I've been trying to put in Ziploc baggies that I'm labeling so I know where they go back into later, because while I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm going, oh yeah, sure, I'll remember that, I ultimately don't. So that's a good idea. Make sure you do that. Get a Ziploc baggie or something, container, to do this, and keep track of all these screws and where they go and what pieces they go to. Now, if I really had my druthers, I would probably buy all new fasteners as I go through this. Now, I am on some that are critical, like I did for the oil pan and the valve cover and all that, just because those are under stress and pressure and stuff. So I did replace those. The ones for the thermostat housing, water pump, all those I've replaced. But these that are just simply screwed in, not under a lot of stress, I just keep reusing them. They work, they're screws. Why reinvent, why replace them all the time, especially when you're trying to save a little money. Every little dime that is out there that you don't have to spend is one you are saving. And of course, take good pictures, take lots of pictures. That's the other reason I do the videos, is because it gives me something to reference back to when I go back to reassemble everything. I certainly did that with the heater box. I think, oh, missed one right there. Okay, there's that. Any more screws that I see? I don't see any more. Oh, there we go. Do that, and then it comes right out. So the good thing is the actual gauges in here themselves are really good shape. No complaints. I could use the foam here. Ooh, that's shot. I'm gonna have to see about getting some new foam for that. On here, these cardboard bezels here that go around where the turn signals are, those seem to be in decent shape. I think I did replace those back in the 80s when I replaced other things, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more foam for that because that's just fallen apart. Go ahead and pull these out. Now I believe I have new bulbs for all of these slots. I think that's your high beam. No, that's your high beam indicator. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what the blue things are here, but ooh, okay. I do need to get one of those. That one's shot. Okay, so we're going to set this aside for a second. Go through and go ahead and take out the rest of some of this. Like there's that cardboard. I could use, it's a little squeezed, but it was working. So we're going to go ahead and take out these lenses. Again, they're just held in with these Phillips head screwdriver, or Phillips head screws. Oh, by the way, I had, let's see, to take this off, I had 2, 4, 6, I think there were 8 screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, so 8 screws were what was holding that in on mine. So where's, oh, that's where I started. Okay. See, almost lost that one. And all of these screws, whether they're holding the instrument cluster directly to this bezel or the ones that are holding these lenses in, they're all the same screws. So you can mix them up like I'm doing. Holder, and then there's the bezel. Now I'm planning to paint this. Sorry, I'm not trying to flip people off. Okay, there we go. That's better. This center piece as well. That'll probably be the brushed, or tape it up. Yeah, those are in pretty good shape. I shouldn't have to do much to that. Now this whole piece is plastic. So you do want to be a little careful. Make sure you're not overdoing any pressures. I mean, they do make reproductions, so you can get a new one if you do break it. But again, yours is in decent shape and plastic's not all cracked up and all that. Why replace something you don't have to? So that's my thought. So I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of this out. And we will speed up the process. So okay, we have all the lenses out now. I also took the cardboard up here for the brake light there. These are where your turn signal indicators are, and those little plastic green shields, it's what make them green when the light comes through, are just taped in there. I think the originals were like that, so I'm going to leave it like that. But anyway, so I've got this disassembled, and what I'm going to do now is figure out how to mask off some of this area here so I can paint all that. But I'll do that later. So what I'm going to do now, gather up all these parts into a bag really quick, and then we'll start on this part, taking apart the instruments. Okay, so now we're ready to get back into disassembling this. I'm going to start with the face of this by going ahead and taking out the bulbs and these other shields and things. So the bulbs should be pretty easy. They're like any other ones. You just push them in, they come out. Now these bulbs are all good. I did say I got some new ones as well. That whole socket come out. There's another one. There's that one. And can I do this? Where's I don't turn the socket here. Okay, well, I guess the socket's going to come out the back, and then I'll pull the bulb out. Okay, so that comes out back here. You see that pulled through pretty easily. So obviously he's going to have to come out as part of the wire harness. Okay, so there's that bulb. So we have 4 bulbs out so far. Now I'm going to get these out. These are held in with 1/4 inch screws. So I'm going to use try to get a 1/4 inch socket on here if I can. There's room. There's not enough. Okay, there's not enough room to fit a socket on there, so that's fun. So we're going to take our open end wrench, get it on there, hopefully, maybe. There we go. Get it loosened up. There we go. See, that one's been, I'm going to have to replace that one. It's all, let's see if we can get that bubbled up, burned out. It's from the light bulb itself. They get hot. I'm going back with plain lights. They do make LEDs for these, which I don't think are as hot as the traditional incandescent bulbs. Yes, I'm filming. Sorry for the interruption, folks. Okay, folks, sorry for the interruption, but people don't get that I'm out here filming, and I don't have a private studio or something to go to. So anyway, back at it. So again, taking these off, get it finger tight. There we go. Might be burned out and blackened. Let's see. Okay, some of these I think I'm going to have to wait till I can get the instruments off themselves, which will happen from back here. Okay, so go ahead and hold this up, so hopefully that's a good shot of where things are at. So when I need to later put these things back together, you can see where they are. Okie doke. So one of these are hopefully going to come out. So this is the speedo. I can tell that because of this, where the speedo cable. I'm not putting in a digital speedometer or anything like that. Maybe one day down the road I will, but I'm keeping the good old-fashioned mechanical one in here. So there that comes. Loose out, maybe. I didn't get it all the way. Okay. There's the speedo. That's held in. Looks like all the screws in the back are held in with some sort of gasket thing. So I've never taken this whole thing apart. I'll deal with that later. It's just all messed up. Okay, so it's out. Let's go ahead and get the wiper switch out. Oops, that's actually a Phillips head screwdriver. So one wiper switch. Now the wire harness does not come with a new one of these, so you'll have to reuse your old one or buy a new one. So there's the speedometer, there's the odometer as well, mileage indicator. This only goes up to 999,000. 999,999.9 miles before it rolls back over. Now, I'm not going to do anything to change that, but you can see. I'm going, look, I'm going 30 miles an hour. Woo. Anyway, so there we go with that. Gauge out there. Should we do next? Let's go ahead and unplug, what's this one over here? Gas gauge. Oh, let's go ahead and unplug all these leads. That's on there tight. Used to these connectors being that tight. There goes the gas gauge, which was using a dark green and yellow wire. Okay. And then this is a constant voltage regulator, I think, here. Slides out from there. That goes, I don't know what the heck this goes to. Ground, I think, is what this is. It's a black wire, it would make sense that it would be around. Second. There we go. Now it's loose. And I'll figure out how to get those out in a moment. And these are to the ammeter and the oil pressure. Yep. Okay, again, I'm just wiggling these back and forth to pull them off. Let's get all that out of there. So I'm going to pull those out. Now those I think are bigger. Let's see here. Yep. So those are going to be 3/8. So the nuts holding the gauges in are 3/8. I'm just using my box sand wrench here to get them loosened up. Then I'll come back and use my fingers to get them the rest of the way off. Do I need to pull the gauges all out of here? I don't know per se, other than, like I said, I need to be able to get to those bulbs in there. And I think having the gauges out of the way would make that a bit easier. And you know, most people would probably be smart and just go get a power socket, power drill, power screwdriver or something to undo these. But yeah, I'm in no big hurry. It's a pretty day outside, so I take time, of course. I am going to speed it up for y'all as I get these out. Now that you kind of know what's going on, we'll use the magic of TV to speed the process up. Goes down. Clip goes down. So okay folks, we now got all of the gauges out of the cluster here. I've gone ahead, and this is just me, again, trying to keep track of where things go. I try to put, where I can, pieces that go together. So you can see I put the nuts on the back of this, as well as this little metal bar that I think helps to secure it in there without putting too much pressure. Acts like a washer in there. So I'm going to set all these aside. I'm going to probably go back in, wire wheel, and clean up some of these contacts on the back and just give all the gauges a little bit of a light cleaning, not going too heavy, because these things get calibrated, can be a little sensitive. This will not be going back in the car. This is the original ammeter that was in here for the alternator. And like I said, the new wire harness doesn't support the ammeter. It wants a voltmeter. So I've got a new one of those to go in that I've talked about before that looks exactly the same. Matter of fact, let me go get it. Hold on a second. So here is the newbie one that is converted to be a voltmeter out of the box. Oh, okay. So you can see it here. You can see this one here. What the person does this, and it's Cougar Classics or something. It's actually a Cougar guy, but it's fine. Cougar, Mustang, very similar. He just refurbishes, redoes the insides of this, an original one like this, to be a voltmeter instead of an ammeter. So there we go. So this will be going in place of this one. So if somebody does need an original ammeter that works, it works fine, let me know. I've got one. We'll work out some deal. I'm willing to trade for other things I might need, whatnot. So anyway, what next? Now I need to figure out how to best get lights out after I go ahead and get the rest of these little globies out now that I can get to them. So we'll go ahead and get those out. Now something else to be careful of is your, whoops, it's tightening it. Each of these does have a little, if you can see that over here, little tab, stud, whatever you want to call it, that fits into the hole that kind of keeps them in place. You don't want to break that off if you intend on reusing these. Said I'm going to try to, I don't know if these come individually or if you have to buy like the whole set from, you know, CJ Pony Parts or National Parts Depot or wherever you go to get your stuff. But it looks like a bunch of these are, and I assume they sell them. I don't even know. I didn't even think about having to get new ones of these, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I think I'm going to buy more light bulbs. I didn't realize how many light bulbs were in this cluster. It's kind of a, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to use a military term. Abbreviated, it's Charlie Foxtrot for those that were in the military. You'll know what I'm talking about. All the lights. But, like I said, I'm going to replace them all anyway just because I'm in here, got it apart. And as you can see, some of these aren't the easiest to get to. So, might as well, while I have it up, and then I'll just keep the older ones. How did I get that one out of there? Oh, that one may have to just be broken off because I can't get to that one. Anything. If somebody had a really thin walled socket, you could probably use a socket to get these off instead of the way I'm doing it, but I don't have anything fancy like that, I guess. That one's kind of broken too. Yeah, that one's all full bar too. So, okay, I'm gonna get the rest of these, but I want to show you these light sockets here. They're just compressed in there, so I think I can just try to, whoops, like that. Be careful. I just jabbed myself on that corner. That hurts. So you can just kind of push these out like so to get these out. So I'm going to get the rest of this apart. But I think you get the general idea once I get all of those out. Then this wire harness will come off and I can start thinking about the next one. So this is where I'm going to leave this video at, just taking this thing apart. I'm going to start, probably trying to paint and do some other things to clean it up, show you all the after parts of that. But there you go. If you've never taken apart a Mustang instrument cluster, the 67 or 68, that's how you do it. At least that's how I do it. So hope y'all have enjoyed it, learned a thing or two, but I'm going to keep at it. And by the way, the final count on light bulbs is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 light bulbs in here. So if you need to do this yourself, you need to replace light bulbs, there are 10 in here. So there you go. Oh, I don't know if that's where it goes to. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna get back to finishing this up. Y'all have a good one, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks.